I feel like it's got to be so interesting that despite the world getting better, despite people, once you set a standard, people trying to come and meet that bar and hit that standard, we just think it is just a foregone conclusion that they're going to win. And I imagine that it's that kind of pressure that faces Simone Biles. I watched this young
Yep.
woman who I have said numerous times to me is Captain America. She's goated. She's the star of this Olympics for me, especially after what happened for her. And I don't think she needs any cementing of her legacy. She's always going to go down as the greatest gymnast of all time. But this has just been amazing. But I watched her hurt herself in warm-ups, and I still just had this unflinching belief that, like, on one leg, she'd still do it. Like, we
Correct.
have literally created in our minds this superhero who is just above reproach, and she's not helping that, because then she went out there and did exactly that. She hurts herself. She's limping. She goes out there after briefly leaving the floor, got some kind of medical treatment. I don't know. I don't know if she got like the Jalen Hurts, the Justin Fields.
They
Remember what
just
they gave him? They gave
they
him the
just wrapped
Justin
it up
Fields. He came back, his ribs were healed.
straight up.
But she came up and now she sits atop the all around right now after qualifying. And they'll pick this up a little bit later in the week. But she was Simone Biles. Like, she's hurt and she's still doing things no one's ever done in Olympic competition, doing her signature moves, just
Yeah.
overall being absolutely fantastic. And I just wonder, like, the kind of pressure on someone like that when a whole world just tends to believe that even while injured, you're just going to figure that out. Man, that's
Correct.
a lot of faith in someone, right?
Which two things. One, I think it really does shine a light on just how bad she must have been going through it in 2021 when she had to bow out of all of those competitions. It reminds me of when Jordan retired to go to baseball, and it like gave the Rockets that 2-year window. And that's when Hakeem and Houston won those two national championships, NBA titles, was because Jordan was playing baseball, right? Otherwise, it would have been, 8 in a row for the Bulls. That was basically the 2021 Olympics when Biles couldn't compete. So it opened the door for the Suni Lees of the world to win the all around. And now she is back. And if anybody needs help, like contextualizing just how good Simone Biles is with just a line that I was hearing, because I catch all my stuff on Primetime Paris, because I don't know. I'm a millennial. I'm a mid-tier millennial, so I'm good with technology, but I'm not good enough to like find everything as it's live. So I'm like a less a buffet where I go and pick and choose. I'm like a restaurant. I go and I just need everything brought to me at this point. So that's why I tune into primetime. And when Simone Biles was doing her vault routine, the commentators literally said, this was after her injury, Simone Biles doesn't even have to land this. She doesn't even have to land on her feet, because what she does in the air is so difficult
Yeah, the degree of
and so
difficulty.
out of reach for everybody else to do it. As long as she does whatever she's going to do in the air, she can fall on her butt and still win the competition. Like
Yeah.
that's insane.
Yes. Correct. Because of her degree of difficulty. I mean, the woman
Correct.
she just actually submitted for a new move for the first time on Beam, which means that this would be the sixth move that's named after her,
Yes.
meaning that she'd be the only person ever to have a signature move on every single event, which is incredible. But that vault you're talking about is like the Yurchenko double pike. So no one's ever in competition been able to
Yes.
nail that or hit that, or you double pike on your landing. And she's ridiculous. I mean, and that's the point, is that it's just, she's so good that she just has to start like creating and inventing things because she's like
Correct.
bored. She's like, you know what? No one's ever done a triple pike. Let's
Straight
try
up.
that shit. And then she nails it. And then she moves, the goalpost. And then the girls try to chase her. And it's so surreal. But I do have to give some love and a shout out, because again, we're expecting Simone Biles to do this. By the way, shout out to Suni Lee. I think for the people that only check in at Olympics, right? They're like, well,
Mhm.
yeah, Suni Lee, she won gold all around at the last one. Like, she became a big superstar. Suni Lee has been through it. She was diagnosed with an illness. They couldn't understand what was happening. She was swelling. She gained 45 pounds. They had to sort of figure out a medicine cocktail so that she would be able to compete again. She didn't think she was ever going to be able to compete again. As
Mhm.
of January, she didn't even know if she'd be ready for the world championships, if she'd be ready to compete. So this is not like her being able to play second behind Simone Biles in the all around, which will put her in the all around, is amazing. And I'm not overlooking what an incredible journey back for Suni Lee it's been in the 3 years since Tokyo. But I have to give a big shout out to Jordan Childs because you talk about a snub of all snubs. I mean, Jordan Childs, similarly, like her path has been really interesting. Suni Lee was able to be here because of a couple of dropouts because of injuries. Same with Jordan Childs, who wasn't exactly like, doing her absolute best, playing her best, whatever you call it, competing at her best this year, but was able to sort of get in there and to qualify at the Olympic trials because of some injuries. And she does an amazing job and she comes in third in the all around, but because of some stupid rule that only two people per country can be put into the all arounds, she gets left out of the all around
Hmm.
competition. And this is a young woman who really struggled at the Tokyo Olympics in the all around. She didn't even make it to qualifying. But when Simone Biles went down, she was asked to step in, and she stepped in such an incredible way. Gary, she didn't even warm up, and she
Hmm.
went and won silver for America. She replaced her. She nailed her uneven bars and she didn't even warm up. Okay. And she helped earn the team silver. So she has had such a long journey and she gets left out of the all around with a chance to compete for the ultimate goal and the ultimate thing in gymnastics simply because her teammate was 0.68 better than her. Like, just, it's just crushing. So I want to give a big shout out to Jordan Childs because her
Yeah.
coach admitted that she's having a tough time with it. But she's still going to obviously be able to contribute towards the all around and the team winning a team medal. But just, it's just such a bummer that she
Yeah.
did everything she was asked to do, nailed her routine, and she's still not going to get to move forward.